We're diving into some pretty intricate territory regarding marital property in Ghana, especially with the 2025 Supreme Court clarifications and how it impacts intestate succession under PNDC Law 111, 1985.
Yeah, right. It's really interesting, isn't it? What stands out for you in these clarifications?
Well, first off, the court really hammered home the idea of a separate economic life during marriage. That's like saying each spouse can, it's like individually acquire property without automatically making it marital property. Plus, they redefined how we determine what's jointly acquired based on evidence and contributions, both cash and non-monetary.
So it's not just a blanket rule where everything you get in a marriage is automatically shared?
Exactly. The courts are now interestingly focused on the evidence of contribution. For instance, if one spouse solely finances an asset or it's treated as solely theirs, like a gift, then it stays that way, even within the marriage. It's all about whether there's an intent for joint ownership, and that proof now carries a lot of weight.
That must create a strong incentive for proper documentation then, right? Like keeping titles, receipts, and bank records absolutely crucial.
Absolutely. And it affects everything from divorce settlements to how the estate is carved out when someone dies intestate. The practical checklist, documentation, titling, and estate planning has never been more important to avoid disputes.
Speaking of interstate succession under PNDC Law 111, it's fascinating how the 2025 approach reshapes what falls into the deceased's estate. Could you expand on that?
Sure thing. Under PNDC Law 111, the estate is basically the self-acquired property plus, critically, only the deceased's share of joint assets, not the entire jointly owned property. So, if an asset is jointly titled, only that portion which the deceased owned enters the estate.
Right.
This nuance could significantly shift the distribution fractions among the spouse, children, and even parents or the customary family.
I like that nuance, but isn't there a risk here? What if a spouse argues that many assets are joint by default without proper documentation?
That's the crux. The court's decision effectively means that a claim for joint acquisition demands robust evidence. And honestly, it forces a tough stance. If someone wants their say in the marital assets, they've got to be ready to prove their contribution, whether that means cash money or non-monetary support.
Exactly. It seems like the system is moving toward a really evidence-driven approach, which might make estate disputes more transparent, but also possibly more contentious.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it protects each spouse's right to own individually acquired assets. On the other, you might see more disputes over what exactly counts as a contribution. And don't even get me started on the impact in customary and polygamous contexts where the lines can be even blurrier.
And then there's the aspect of household chattels and the unique rule around one house. That table of fractions, it's almost like a mini roadmap for dispute resolution.
Exactly. That breakdown really simplifies a complex issue. It gives a clear, albeit rigid, framework for how estates get distributed after household items and the one house entitlement are sorted out. But it still ultimately rests on that evidentiary pillar of whether an asset is joint or solely acquired.
This certainly underlines why estate planning, with up-to-date wills and transparent record keeping, is more important than ever.
Spot on. It's not just about preparing for the future. It's about avoiding potential family disputes and safeguarding individual rights within marriage. Even though the system aims for fairness with equitable distribution, reality can be messy without clear documentation.
True. Really compelling stuff. It's like a modern twist on age-old family law principles, pushing everyone to be accountable for their financial contributions.
Totally. The interplay between constitutional rights, marital property rules, and intestate successions makes for a really dynamic legal landscape now.
Well, that definitely gives folks, lawyers and families alike, a lot to consider. Thanks for breaking it down.